So I understand there's CEOs out there, entrepreneurs, but one thing that, and I don't think we've talked about this so far, Josh, but yeah, I went to Harvard Business School and earned a specialty in business strategy.
Mm.
And the most profound thing of the entire course, 150 credit hours in this course, the one most profound yet simple thing that I learned at Harvard that people miss and it leads to their failure is they don't recognize the job that actually needs to be done. Okay, let me unpack this a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, People don't buy products and services just to buy them. They hire them to do a job. Okay. Um, it helps the entrepreneur when you understand the job that needs to be done. You're understanding the causative factor of why people buy your product or service. What causes them to buy? Not what correlates, right? We think about like demographics or this is my market, this is my avatar, such as age, gender, and income, but that only correlates with buying behavior. A job to be done starts with um, your customer saying, help me do this, help me avoid, or I need to become more efficient. And the jobs to be done involve two things. One, there's a functional aspect, the practical, role of the product. What problem does it solve or fulfill for that customer? But also the emotional and social aspect, meaning the feeling that they get from either owning your product or service or what it does for them. Now, let me give you a perfect example. Um, Disneyland. Okay. Disneyland back in the 1950s when it was established, a lot of people see Disneyland being established for the growing middle class at that time. There was more um, disposable income,
Mhm.
more college educated people. Our economy was growing. And so naturally, we could target this demographic with young kids to bring their kids and have family experiences. That's not why Walt Disney created Disneyland. He understood the job to be done was to build a place where adults could escape and feel that joy and innocence that they had when they were a kid.
Mm.
That's the job to be done. That's why it's called the most magical place on earth. Okay. And guess what? They tapped into that because they started to recognize that adults were coming not only from all over the country, but from around the world. And some of them didn't even bring their kids,
Wow.
right? Now, little detour here. This is why we know this is true. So, built on the success of Disneyland in Southern California, they thought, wow, this is just a one-day theme park. What if we built another theme park where we could build hotels and capitalize on this experience of these adults coming in that didn't even have kids and give them more, adult entertainment to do? And they called, I think the name of that park was like California Dream or California Playland, something like that. You guys can certainly Google that.
Yeah.
But that did not work. That concept did not work. Why? They took their eyes off of what their customers really wanted to be done. What was the job that they wanted to be done? They wanted to escape. They wanted to feel that feeling of being a kid again and being in that magical place with those cartoon characters that they grew up with. And they wanted their kids to have the same memories. But when they created that other theme park, they didn't nail the job to be done because that was an escapism, right? And so they lost money and they saw that the attendance wasn't what they thought it was going to be. So what did they do? They sold that theme park and they doubled down on the job to be done and they started to conceptualize Disney World, an even bigger escapism experience where you can literally go see these Snow White and Cinderella and Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell still flies every night at Disney World from the castle down through the park. And it is filled with who? Adults.
Mm.
Some of them don't even have kids. And so the thing that I believe that a lot of business owners, a lot of CEOs don't really focus in on are the causative factors of why people really buy their product and defining and nailing the job that really needs to be done that your customers are hiring you for.
Right. Wow, I think that was such a great example of how, there's a dream and there's a passion, and if you kind of slide off that, it just sort of doesn't really work the same as it does when you had a dream and a passion for something, and really getting people that your goals, like you mentioned, there's goals involved in that. So I think that's all very important to have, especially in a business or any type of activity you're doing.
No, without a doubt. Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
You've really got to do the front end work. I mean, every successful business is front loaded. You just
Mhm.
can't go all willy nilly, you know, because businesses don't fail because of a lack of customers. They fail because they run out of money, and you run out of money when you're not doing the right things from the very beginning and you don't understand your market. You don't understand what causes your customer to buy your product or service over someone else. And the company that nails that will be one of the market leaders in whatever product category they enter.
Amazing.